I never thought life would turn into the kind of story that feels more like a cautionary tale than reality. My wife, Sanya, was the love of my life, or at least that's what I believed for over a decade. We built a life together, bought a home and raised 2 children, laughing through the mundane and celebrating the milestones. But behind her smile, behind the warmth she showed the world, there was a side of her I could never have imagined, a side that thrived on deception, secrets, and betrayal. The first betrayal was subtle. A whispered conversation over the phone, a smile she quickly hid. I brushed it off as paranoia at first. I wanted to trust her. I had believed in the vows we took, the promises we made to love, honor, and remain faithful. But doubt, once planted, grows like a weed, and soon, the evidence became impossible to ignore. It started with small lies, late nights at work she never mentioned, spontaneous business trips, and vague excuses that didn't add up. I remember one night after she returned from a so-called team dinner, I found a receipt tucked in her purse, an extravagant hotel stay for 2 in a city hundreds of miles away. My heart sank, but I had learned enough to wait, to observe, to collect proof before confronting her. The first time I caught her red-handed, it felt like the world stopped. She was with him, the man she had been seeing in secret, someone I had never met but whose presence she had welcomed into our lives in the shadows. The anger was immediate, burning through every rational thought, but I didn't lash out. I didn't create a scene. I waited, biding my time. Because karma, I realized, has a way of working slowly, deliberately, but with devastating precision. Over the years, there were other betrayals, each one more reckless than the last. Lies about money, emotional affairs, attempts to manipulate friends and colleagues to side with her version of reality. She believed she was clever, untouchable, and immune to consequences. And for a while she seemed right. Her life was comfortable, her secrets secure, and I, the person she had betrayed countless times, continued to pick up the pieces, maintaining the illusion of a happy family. But life, as it turns out, has a way of balancing the scales. The first blow of karma was subtle but undeniable. The man she had been closest to in her emotional affairs, a coworker she had trusted and thought loyal, turned against her when their relationship soured. Texts meant to manipulate him backfired. Private conversations leaked to others, leaving her reputation tarnished at work. I watched quietly, not out of malice, but with the calm satisfaction of someone who had witnessed every move and knew the truth. The second blow was financial. She had been siphoning money from our joint accounts to fund secret trips and lavish gifts for her lovers. One day, her carefully constructed financial safety net collapsed when the bank froze her access due to irregular transactions. Suddenly, the luxurious lifestyle she had been living came crashing down around her. She had planned for wealth and comfort, but she had ignored one crucial element: honesty. Karma, it seemed, didn't forget. Then came the personal betrayals. Friends she had manipulated and alienated began to turn their backs. The support network she had relied upon silently for years began to crumble, leaving her isolated, angry, and desperate. I didn't intervene. I let her face the consequences of the chaos she had created, allowing life itself to teach her lessons she had long ignored. Throughout it all, I remained focused on rebuilding myself. I didn't seek revenge in a direct sense. My revenge was the quiet strength of my life moving forward while hers unraveled. I immersed myself in work, travel, and new friendships. I found joy in the simple things she had long taken for granted: a laugh without deceit, a meal shared without manipulation, a quiet evening free of tension. My life became richer, deeper, more authentic, while hers became a cautionary tale of greed, betrayal, and arrogance. Finally, the ultimate blow came when she attempted to manipulate one of our children to her side during a particularly heated argument about custody. Her lies, her attempts to control and influence, were met with resistance from those who had long seen through her facade. Her child, once impressionable and trusting, began to recognize the patterns of deceit, refusing to be swayed. For the first time, she faced the consequences of her actions not just socially and financially, but emotionally. The heartbreak she had inflicted on others returned to her in full measure. By the time the dust settled, she was left with nothing but reflection. Her relationships had faltered, her reputation damaged, and her life stripped of the illusions she had so carefully curated. Meanwhile, I had grown into a person stronger than I had ever been before, the quiet embodiment of resilience, patience, and integrity. Karma had done its work. Not with malice, not with drama, but with the inevitability of cause and effect. Each of her betrayals, each act of deceit, had returned to her like a shadow she could never escape. And as I watched her struggle with the reality she had created, I realized the truth that life had long ago taught me. Deceit and betrayal always come with a price. In the end, it wasn't my anger or retaliation that devastated her, it was life itself. Karma doesn't need intervention. It simply unfolds. And when it does, those who have sown lies, manipulation, and betrayal must face the harvest of their own making.